What's happening, everybody? The Poets here, and I hope you're all doing well, staying safe. And I'm in California. The sky is orange. That's what's going on here. But this is hopefully the third and final video for the Optimus water block series that I've been doing here. And for those of you that want data and stuff, this is basically the video you're going to want to see. I'm going to call this the end result because it may take a little while for me to do finalized, how do I want to say it? Reinforcement data. So if any of my data changes over the next couple of weeks, then I'll put it on my Twitter account and my TikToks and stuff like that. But for YouTube, this should do it for most of you that are curious about the Optimus water block. All right. So to give you a bit of background, because this is going to be a summary video, the Threadripper 3 system that I was using was on the TRX 40 motherboard by GIGABYTE. So it's a GIGABYTE AORUS master. The Threadripper 3 is a 3970X, so it has 32 cores, 64 threads. That amount of threads and cores generate some heat, so custom water cooling system. And I initially was using the EKWB Velocity water block, which was doing a perfectly fine job keeping it cool. So this costs like maybe 110 bucks or so, 120 bucks at Micro Center. And, you know, easy installation, whatever. You know, it's just kind of some screws, you put it on there and you're good to go. And so, when I ordered the Optimus water block back in like November, December of 2019, then it was a pre-order, so I knew it was going to take a while, but then of course 2020 dumpster fire happened, and therefore supply chain issues happened across the board. Completely understandable. Optimus as a company was, you know, pretty informative overall in terms of, hey, this is what's happening, this is when we're going to be able to make these blocks, like in terms of GPU blocks, and then the Threadripper 3 blocks were going to be after that. And so there were just delays. It was understandable because like everything was shutting down, and I've lost a lot of people due to this virus that I personally know. So like I didn't care. This is just, you know, fun hardware, whatever. So I just hope that everybody at Optimus was staying safe and their families are safe. That's much, much more important than me getting some cooling temperatures. So over time, you know, the months went on, and then Optimus finally was able to send me the water block. And I gotta say, I love the way it looks. You know, it's heavy, it's beefy. It's like pure look of performance where, you know, EK, just a different style. And this has RGB, this doesn't. So this is just like, they put their time and energy into performance. So, so I appreciated that right off the bat. So I installed it on my GIGABYTE AORUS Master TRX 40 motherboard, and I did some testing back and forth. So took it off, put on the EK, you know, back and forth. And overall, my average temps with the Optimus water block were 1 degree Celsius better. So when I posted my, you know, previous videos on all this, Optimus reached out to me and say, hey, something must be wrong because I should be getting much better temperatures. And I like better temperatures because I'm an overclocker. So if I can get lower temperatures, and they're claiming like 8 to 10 degrees Celsius better, yeah, that piqued my interest. So I decided to work with them to better understand what was going on, sent them videos of my system, like how I mounted and everything like that. So they were really, really responsive. I'm hoping they would be that responsive to everybody that's a customer of theirs. Excuse me, I'm trying to do this in one cut. And not just because I have a YouTube video, but I have no way of doing that. I do know other people that did order their blocks, and they were happy with the communication that they were getting while they were still waiting with the block. So maybe it is just decent customer service across the board. So to kind of put all this out there, I am just a customer of Optimus. So this is not like retail packaging or what should I say? This is not a promotional packaging that they gave me or anything like that. This is just, hey, I bought it from them. They sent it to me. And the way I received it was there was no directions in the box on how to mount it. And so I have all kinds of tools available, and I'm losing my voice probably because of all the smoke in California. So I have tons of tools to be able to mount this thing because you typically don't need anything crazy to mount a water block. But they neglected to put directions in the packaging saying that, hey, we want you to use the Threadripper 3 torque wrench that you use to install the Threadripper 3 onto your motherboard, using that same torque wrench to install the water block. I've never heard that before in my life. So that was interesting. So I had already installed it numerous times using my own methods, which seemed like common sense. So they really said, okay, this is how you should do it. These are the way the screws should go, mounted into the motherboard, all that stuff. So, and I'm trying to be really fast with this. So basically, in terms of remounting the Threadripper 3 water block by Optimus onto the TRX 40 motherboard, I got it on there, but then one of the screw mounts on the GIGABYTE motherboard popped off. I was really upset about that. So I decided to MacGyver it back on and got the system up and running. And so I have mixed results, mainly because of mounting pressure. So I'm going to show you this nice little reveal, and I'm going to maybe have some B-roll as well. So this is the thermal compound. So you can see up here, this is the portion of the motherboard where the little screw mounting mechanism popped off. There was no pressure here. Plenty of pressure over here. So to give you an idea of what was going on, over here I'm guessing is the CCD where I had the best temperatures, and over here obviously should be the worst. So the portion that had the best mounting pressure, I got temperatures as low on that CCD, and a CCD basically is a cluster of cores, and that's how AMD does it. So it kind of spreads it out, and then they're linked by Infinity Fabric. Look it up if you don't understand, but it's a good indication of which portion of the mount is doing well and which one isn't. So that's why with Threadripper 3 mounts, you may have to mount it back and forth a few times and get a good result. So one of the CCDs, before I even say that, before testing with the new mounting mechanism, the best temperature on a CCD I was able to get was 67.3 degrees on full load. That's running Cinebench R20 for like 30 minutes, all right? So full soak, and even with Blender, the best I was able to get was 65.8 degrees, all right? So that's kind of my baseline. That's after a number of runs. After using the new way of mounting, even with this piece broken off on my motherboard, I got down to 55 degrees Celsius using Cinebench R20 for 30 minutes. So yeah, that's a 12-degree drop, and the room temperature was the same. So I used like all the same metrics and everything. 12 degrees lower on that CCD. I have a video, maybe I'll put it up. I think I took a video where it's like 58. So take it what you will. So my word is 55. I'll show a video of, I think it was 58. So just doing some quick testing with Cinebench R20, you know, running away. And this is preliminary because there's still more air bubbles that have to get out of the system. But this guy, CCD3, maximum temp of 56.8 degrees. What the hell? That's good for those that don't know. Yeah, I'm amazed. Now, there's an asterisk there because it was not full mounting pressure. So I'm not Steve from Gamers Nexus. I can't tell you if, because I had great mounting pressure here, if I'm going to get better temperatures because I had worse mounting pressure up there. I don't think that's how science works, because basically you have full contact, full pressure here. It shouldn't mean that it would be worse if this also had full contact, full pressure, especially with these being like solid copper blocks, all right? So a drop that drastic has me ecstatic. So I am thoroughly impressed by this. And the reason why this is out of the system right now is because I immediately contacted GIGABYTE and I was like, look, this 10-cent screw mount popped off. I can't get it back on correctly to get mounting pressure. And so it's in the mail, RMA'd. I have no idea how long that's going to take. I spoke to GIGABYTE today and they said, yes, they've received my motherboard, but they still have to process and everything, and they're down to half capacity with engineers. I didn't feel that it was just for me to hold off on this video right now, because I know a lot of people are waiting to like buy water blocks for their Threadripper systems and stuff. And Optimus clearly did a good enough job to drop temperatures that drastically compared to compared to the EKW, because the EKW water block, let's see, the best temperature I had was 69.3 degrees. So if the best I got was 55, that's just awesome. All right, so definitely kudos to them. So I can definitely say that I'm looking forward to getting my TRX 40 motherboard back from the RMA department of GIGABYTE, which literally is less than an hour from here. So I asked them if I can just drop it off. But they said no, due to COVID, you know, you have to send in the mail and they have to do all their quarantine, whatever they're doing. I don't know. So I'm impressed. That's basically what this video is about. So custom water cooling, Optimus water block, which does cost about twice as much as the EKWB water block. As long as I'm going to get that similar 55, 58 C temperatures across like maybe all CCDs, all 4 CCDs on here, yeah, I will pay $200 all day long for that style of performance. Now, mind you, I'm an enthusiast, you know, overclocker, custom water cooling, $200 versus $125, I don't care. You know, you see this system here, deep blue. So for those that want better clocks, as long as this holds up when I finalize doing this build, until I change it again, yeah, it should be something. So that's really it. I'm going to be doing more iterations. What's in here right now is just a Z390 motherboard, GIGABYTE motherboard, AORUS Master with an 8700K that is delidded with an aftermarket copper IHS that I'm having fun overclocking this to like 5.3, 5.4 gigahertz. I'm going to try to do some maybe live streams on my TikTok channel to get it maybe up to 5.5. We'll see. But it has been kind of hot here lately, so I may wait till late night TikTok live videos. So that's about it. So thank you very much. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll try to add some B-roll or whatever here and there about something that's relevant to this Optimus water block and the EKWB water block. But yeah, looking forward to this. So thank you very much. Feel free to like and subscribe, you know, all that good stuff. I have more videos coming. I'm behind, let's just put it that way. I have a lot of really interesting hardware that has been sent to me because actually I've recently hit 50,000 followers on TikTok. Amazing. So for you TikTokers out there, especially the tech talkers, thank you very much for everything. And I will basically just see you guys in the next one. So peace.